Just say yes or no. Haney,
Yes.
Lomachenko,
Yes.
Teofimo,
Yes.
Shakur.
Yeah. As a whole, like it'll be different. Like fighting, it'll be more so like coming to get them.
You would approach it differently.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest about that sparring with me and him, it was like good work. It was like good work. Me and him, two smart fighters. I ain't gonna say. I felt like if it was a fight, I won, but it was good work. Like it was somebody. He made me think. I made him think.
At 135 now, I think the fight, especially this is if Haney moves up, I think the fight is going to be Gervonta versus Shakur. The power puncher versus the elite defender.
That fight has to happen at some point. Listen, Shakur has to fight literally all of these guys, and I think he will at some point. But
after his dominant victory over Edwin de los Santos, Shakur Stevenson has made it clear that Gervonta Tank Davis is his next target. Davis, who has long expressed his desire to face Stevenson, has welcomed the challenge, and the two highly skilled and undefeated fighters are on a collision course. Stevenson, the Olympic gold medalist and former two-division world champion, is coming off a masterful performance against De Los Santos. He displayed his trademark defensive prowess and elite hand speed, dismantling his opponent with ease. Stevenson's victory solidified his position as one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world and further fueled his desire to face Davis. But the reality is very far from the truth. While the anticipation was high for Shakur Stevenson's recent bout against Edwin de los Santos, the reality in the ring left many fans disappointed. Regrettably, the fight failed to live up to expectations and has been labeled by some as one of the more lackluster matchups of the century. The bout, which was eagerly awaited by fans hoping for an exciting display of skill and action, unfortunately fell short of delivering the thrills associated with high-profile fights. Shakur Stevenson, known for his technical prowess and strategic approach, seemed to struggle to engage with De Los Santos in a way that would capture the audience's attention. The disappointment was palpable, as spectators hoped for a showcase of Stevenson's renowned boxing finesse. Instead, the match unfolded with a lack of intensity, leaving viewers yearning for the dynamic and captivating performances they've come to expect from top-tier fighters. It's not uncommon for fighters to have off nights or for matchups to turn out differently than anticipated, and yesterday's fight between Shakur and De Los Santos serves as a reminder of the unpredictability of sports. While every athlete has their moments, this particular bout might be remembered more for what didn't happen in the ring rather than for any memorable highlight. The fight began with a tentative opening round, though De Los Santos tried to prevent this. The Dominican initially came out aggressive, but was neutralized by the elite defensive talent of Stevenson, who held him when he tried to launch his early assault. This set the tone for the entire fight. Round 2 was quiet, as De Los Santos struggled to land clean punches. There were a few boos from the crowd as this inaction continued into the third. While Stevenson was impressively elusive, he did not choose to fire back with a great deal of offensive output. The American was winning the rounds by slightly outlanding De Los Santos, who did not want to overcommit and leave himself open for counterpunch. As they reached the halfway point, Stevenson seemed to be comfortably in front in the fight, though the boos became louder and louder from the crowd. De Los Santos was unable to trouble his opponent at the start of the second half either. Stevenson appeared perfectly happy to outbox the Dominican at the slow pace, so long as he was, indeed, winning the round. There were moments in round 8 when De Los Santos opened up and attempted quick combinations, but Stevenson neutralized him every time and was never troubled, not even for a moment. The final rounds played out in similar fashion, with the American winning the fight almost with his jab alone. He was declared the winner by unanimous decision, but loud boos rained down, and fans were not impressed. Stevenson reacted in his post-fight interview. "I had a bad performance. I wasn't feeling too good. No excuses. If I'm feeling like this, I'm gonna make sure I box and get a victory." One wrote, "This is a really, really tough watch." A second said, "Nothing happening at all. One of worst fights I've ever seen." While a third put, "This fight is not worth watching. I appreciate the boxing IQ both have, but Shakur and De Los Santos are too afraid to fight." Though another fan added, "Listen, this fight is boring, but if there's one thing you can take away from this, it's that Shakur is the best defensive boxer in the world. Some also use the contest as evidence that Stevenson would not be able to compete with Gervonta Davis. Shakur not ready for Tank, one fan said. A second wrote, Gervonta Davis is somewhere smiling watching this Shakur fight. And after all this comments, Shakur had enough and now wants Gervonta to shut up all the critics and blaming from others now than before. He needs Gervonta to make the leap from being a good fighter to be a great fighter. And in order to be a great fighter, you have to fight the greatest of your category. And it's almost 5 years that Gervonta and Shakur once won each other, starting with his biggest rival, Gervonta. In fact, Davis and Shakur Stevenson have been rivals for years. Their animosity stems from a combination of factors, including personal clashes, contrasting personalities, and competitive aspirations. Their rivalry first came to light in 2018, when Stevenson publicly criticized Davis's decision to move up in weight. Davis responded by questioning Stevenson's fighting style and accusing him of being afraid to face him. The rivalry intensified in 2021 when Stevenson was scheduled to fight Davis's close friend and teammate, Mario Barrios. Davis became involved in the promotion of the fight, exchanging barbs with Stevenson on social media. Stevenson defeated Barrios, but the rivalry continued to simmer. In 2022, Davis and Stevenson were both featured in a Showtime sports documentary titled All Access. The documentary highlighted their rivalry, showcasing their animosity and public disdain for each other. The rivalry between Davis and Stevenson is one of the most intriguing in boxing today. Their personal dislike, contrasting personalities, and competitive aspirations have fueled their animosity, making their potential showdown highly anticipated. Former two-division world champion Shakur Stevenson is convinced that he will be fighting Gervonta Davis in the near future, and he's predicting it will be the biggest fight in boxing when it occurs. Stevenson, 20 Wesson, 10 KOs, is so confident the fight with the secondary WBA lightweight champion Tank Davis will happen. He's willing to stick around the 135 low-B division, waiting for it to happen one of these days. Hopefully, Shakur's dream comes true because based on Tank Davis's 10-year resume in the sport, he will not be fighting Stevenson in this lifetime. Gervonta, who Floyd Mayweather Jr. promotes, has never taken a challenging fight during his entire career, and it's improbable to think that Floyd would suddenly change the way he's been matching the Baltimore native by putting him in with someone who could possibly beat him. Of course, Mayweather took some difficult fights, but they were after he has a big record of like 39-0, not before that. So probably we have to wait to see a match between them. It could be a mistake for Shakur to pin his hopes on a fight with Gervonta going down one day in the distant future because he could wind up empty-handed with nothing to show for the many years he's waited. Look at Vasily Lomachenko as a textbook example of the futility of trying to get a fight with Tank. Loma has been pursuing a fight with Tank Davis for the last 5 years since 2018 with no luck. Now 35 years old and showing signs of slippage, Lomachenko is still being avoided by Tank Davis, which tells you all you need to know about Shakur's deluded pipe dream of one day getting a fight with Gervonta. But for us, the fight will eventually happen, and where the times arrive, the winner of the fight will be Gervonta, and that's why one key aspect where Gervonta Davis stands out is his explosive knockout power. Davis has consistently demonstrated the ability to end fights with a single devastating punch, making him a force to be reckoned with in the ring. His knockout record is a testament to his raw, unbridled strength, and this could pose a significant challenge for Shakur Stevenson. Moreover, Gervonta's experience at the top level of the sport might give him an edge. Having been in the boxing spotlight for a longer period, Davis has faced a variety of opponents, honing his skills against different styles. This experience could prove crucial in adapting to Shakur's strategic and technical approach. While Shakur Stevenson is undoubtedly a skilled and intelligent boxer, Gervonta's power and experience present a formidable combination. The potential for Gervonta Davis to secure a victory in this matchup lies not just in his physical prowess, but also in his ability to weather the storm of an intelligent and tactically sound opponent like Shakur Stevenson.